Right now, it's a preview of the upcoming election season and what role Wisconsin will play as the vice president makes an historic visit to Madison.
Knock on wood, it seems like they're healthy at this point.
And hear from a Wisconsin man who says his family is stranded in Wuhan, China, the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
Thanks for joining us. Charlotte is off tonight. It's early in the election year, but with a vice presidential visit today, we're getting an idea of what to expect for the rest of this campaign season. Madeline O'Neill brings us highlights from Vice President Mike Pence, along with his opponents. Maddie?
Well, Eric, we knew Wisconsin would likely be an important battleground state, and with President Donald Trump and his vice president visiting Milwaukee just a couple weeks ago, and now just Pence here in Madison today, it's already shaping up to be a big year for politics in our state. From start to finish.
She never fell for me.
Shame, shame. A vice president visit makes for a busy day at the Capitol.
Well, hello, Wisconsin.
A historic one, too. This is the first time a sitting vice president has ever set foot inside the state Capitol building.
Parents should decide where their kids go to school.
Vice President Mike Pence used the opportunity to tout Wisconsin's school choice program, which gives students state financial assistance to go to a private school.
When parents get a choice, kids get better grades, and not just the kids who go to choice schools, but every child, no matter where they go to school, does better when the parents get to choose.
While recent studies compiled by the Brookings Institute don't back up that claim, Pence did point to success stories, including a few students on vouchers in Milwaukee who will be some of the first of their families to head to college. U.S. Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos took the stage as well.
I'm so happy to celebrate National School Choice Week with you.
In a liberal city like Madison, opponents weren't far away, both inside
You keep me motivated every single day.
and out.
Trump and his cronies are sabotaging public education because it's not their children who go to public school. At every step, they think this is what's going to happen to someone else. They're handing massive tax cuts to the richest people in America.
Public schools. Many of the dozens of protesters outside the Capitol were against school choice too, but also pointed out other issues they feel Pence doesn't support, including climate change initiatives, LGBTQ rights, and health care for all.
You don't use freedom of religion to persecute other people.
Regardless of which side of the aisle you fall.
Thank you very much. God bless Wisconsin, and God bless America.
Wisconsin is shaping up to be a key player this campaign year, from start to finish. Tomorrow is the final day for voters to register online or by mail ahead of the February 18th spring primary election. You're encouraged to check your registration online at myvote.wi.gov. To register on Election Day, you'll need to bring along a proof of address.
Maddie, thank you. The president tonight holding a campaign rally in New Jersey. Big crowds camped out on the Jersey Shore ahead of time. Some have been in line since Saturday night, hoping to get inside the Wildwoods Convention Center in Washington. President Trump's defense team finished its opening arguments today, but his impeachment trial might not be headed for the swift acquittal the White House had hoped for. Majority Leader Mitch McConnell conceded tonight he doesn't yet have the votes to block more witnesses.
Just came from a conference in which there was vigorous discussion and debate on the question of whether additional witnesses are needed.
We're not bargaining with them. We want 4 witnesses and 4 sets of documents. Then the truth will come out.
Senators begin the 2-day question and answer period tomorrow before taking any vote on additional witnesses. Senators will use cards, these cards right here, to write their questions for House managers or the defense, sign their names, and submit them to Chief Justice John Roberts. 50 U.S. military personnel have now been diagnosed with concussions and traumatic brain injuries after the Iranian missile attack on U.S. forces in Iraq earlier this month. That's an increase of 16 from late last week when the Pentagon said 34 cases had been diagnosed. Today, a Pentagon spokesperson says of these 50, 31 service members were treated in Iraq and returned to duty. 18 service members have been transported to Germany for further evaluation and treatment. State Democrats are showing support for Governor Evers' special session on agriculture at the Capitol today. Representative Dave Considine of Baraboo talking about his experience as a farmer and how a new package of bills will make a difference.
I didn't have time to go get help. I'm sorry, the manure needed to be spread, the goats needed to be milked, the crops needed to be harvested, and the apples sold. So a lot of this package of bills is to assist farmers in financial planning and farm succession, but specifically staff to take it out to the rural areas, staff to go to the farms and help them on the farm.
The $8.5 million package of bills includes mental health resources and the creation of the Wisconsin Initiative for Dairy Exports, helping farmers reach their export goals. It also includes grant programs to help small processing plants and support to help farmers diversify their crops, including help entering the hemp industry. Governor Evers has called for Republican lawmakers to take up the bills before adjourning for the year. Let's turn things over to weather now. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti in our first alert forecast. Gary?
Well, Eric, it was cloudy and gray today. It was cloudy and gray yesterday and the day before, and it looks like the next couple of days are pretty much going to be the same thing. The time-lapse view from the WISC Skycam shows just how gray it was today. Very little in the way of precipitation, a flurry or two and a spot or two, and that's pretty much been about it. But if you're thinking that it's been a long stretch of cloudy skies, well, the last time Madison saw the weather observation at the airport as partly sunny was 12 noon last Tuesday. The last time that it wasn't reported as cloudy was 5 a.m. last Wednesday. The next time we expect sunshine, Sunday morning. So don't expect any sunshine for tomorrow. Skies will be cloudy through the day. Look for a high of 28. There might be a flurry in the afternoon. Later on, I'll take a look at a forecast. It does include some milder weather, but also some snow as we head into next week.
Gary, thank you. The death toll from coronavirus jumped to more than 130 tonight, and the number of cases in China overall now tops 5,300. The alarming new numbers come as federal health officials here in the U.S. are expanding screening for the virus to 18 major airports and 2 land border crossings. So far, 5 cases have been confirmed in the U.S. Sam Roth lives in Neenah in the Fox Valley, says his family is stuck in Wuhan, China, which has been quarantined since the outbreak started. He says they were visiting family there. 1,000 Americans are reportedly in the city, and Roth says he wants his wife and 2 children to be airlifted out.
Yeah, I'm quite concerned, especially the 10-month-old. I mean, any baby of that age doesn't have a fully formed immune system, and so if she were to get the pneumonia, that we're familiar with, that would be a grave concern for us. And here is a pneumonia-like virus that is unknown to man up till now, and how to treat it.
Video tonight shows the residents of Wuhan confined to their apartments, singing together from their high-rises. Others in the video shouted, "Wuhan strong," from their windows and balconies. While there's been a lot of news about coronavirus, health officials say your real concern should be the flu. A couple schools in Watertown canceled classes today and tomorrow after 30 students stayed home sick with flu Monday. That's almost a third of the students there. Custodians are using both days to clean the school top to bottom to prevent the flu from spreading.
He has sprayed everything with Lysol. We've wiped things down with bleach water. He's mopped the floors with bleach water that he could. He's going to start from the top of the school and work his way down.
Now, the custodians have all day tomorrow to finish cleaning 16 classrooms, 10 bathrooms, all lockers, all handrails. Students are expected to be back in school on Thursday. Dane County detectives are continuing to ask for the public's help in the murder investigation of Nicholas Day. They're trying to identify a certain runner who was seen in the area around the time of his death. They say the runner was wearing a brown jacket with red striping, similar to this photo here, which was put out today by investigators. And witnesses report seeing that man running in the area of Burgum Road and County Highway JG around the date of January 15th. He's not considered a suspect. However, investigators simply would like to speak with him or any other runners who frequently run in that area. Detectives are also interested to hear from any individuals who may have been working in that area. That could mean delivery drivers, utility workers, or construction workers. People arriving at the Mitchell Domes in Milwaukee today were greeted by a crime scene. Police say what started as a stolen car chase ended with that vehicle flying off the 27th Street Bridge. One female passenger had to be rescued from the vehicle. A second was able to get out on her own. The male driver ran 7 blocks before police arrested him. A 36-year-old Beloit man facing criminal charges after his stepchild took his loaded gun to an elementary school in Rock County. A teacher found the gun in a backpack earlier this morning. This was at Todd Elementary School. After taking the backpack from the student, the school called in the stepdad, 36-year-old Brian Walker, who police arrested for leaving the loaded handgun in a place where that child could take it. The school district of Beloit says while it cannot comment on the student's name, age, or gender, the student involved will be suspended now for the foreseeable future. There were 2 bomb threats today at separate local high schools. Now, the first one over an email, that was this morning against Madison Memorial High School. According to Principal Matt Hendrickson, the threat didn't seem credible because of the nature of the email, but security staff went ahead and conducted a thorough sweep in and around the school as a precaution. And classes will be back to normal tomorrow at Sauk Prairie High School after another bomb threat this morning, this one causing an evacuation. The police department says the threat was called into the school just before 11 a.m. The students were sent over to the middle school while police responded. It was determined not to be a credible threat. Opioid overdoses and overdose deaths in Madison have both fallen in 2019. That's according to Interim Police Chief Vic Wall's blog today. Officers responded to 246 heroin and opioid overdoses last year. That's down from 275 the year prior. He says those numbers only include known overdoses and that the actual number in the community is likely much higher. And when it comes to deaths, Chief Wall says there were 29 fatal overdoses last year. That's down from 42 in 2018. Still to come tonight at 10, a must-see Super Bowl ad featuring the UW School of Veterinary Medicine. Plus, the NTSB wrapping up its on-site investigation into the crash that killed Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and 7 others. The update just ahead. This Sunday during the Super Bowl, there is one commercial you're really going to want to see. It features a dog and members of the UW School of Veterinary Medicine. The 30-second commercial is titled Lucky Dog. It'll air during the second quarter, It was paid for by WeatherTech. The dog named Scout is a family member of the WeatherTech founder. The ad follows Scout's journey as a cancer survivor and celebrates the work being done at the UW School of Veterinary Medicine. Scout also appeared in WeatherTech's 2019 Super Bowl commercial and is the face of advertising for the company's pet products. Aftershocks are expected to continue the next couple of days after an earthquake today in the Caribbean. Hundreds of people were evacuated from high-rise buildings near downtown Miami. Several buildings in the city were shaking, but no injuries or structural damage has been reported. The 7.7 magnitude quake occurred about 80 miles off the coast of Jamaica. Residents of the island of Grand Cayman experienced dramatic swaying as the quake hit. There have not, however, been any reports of major damage or any casualties. 34 years ago today, NASA experienced the in-flight tragedy of the Space Shuttle Challenger, breaking apart shortly after launch, killing all 7 crew members aboard, taking off from the Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral. The cold weather conditions that morning combined with a design flaw led to a rocket booster failure, causing a structural collapse. The Challenger broke apart 73 seconds after launch and was aired on live television. Federal investigators say it may be months before we know what caused the tragic helicopter crash that killed Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and 7 others Sunday. The NTSB says it has completed the recovery operations on site. Today, the debris was wrapped up in white tarps and taken away from the site by helicopter, loaded onto trailers. Federal investigators today say the helicopter went down quickly, descending at about 2,000 feet per minute. The NTSB plans to release a preliminary report on the crash in 10 days.
It's not going to contain our findings, our analysis. It's not going to contain any safety recommendations or a probable cause.
It could be well into next year before we know exactly what caused the deadly crash. The NTSB says it'll likely take between 12 and 18 months to conduct its full investigation. Governor Tony Evers requesting FEMA to conduct a damage assessment. This is for Milwaukee, Racine, and Kenosha counties after a severe winter storm hit the lakeshore earlier this month. The process is the first step in determining whether the state will request a federal disaster declaration. This was January 10th through the 12th. High winds and waves caused tens of millions of dollars in damage. This was along the western shore of Lake Michigan. Gary Canalti joining us now. You remember the Challenger 34 years ago today. And
I was still working for McDonald's at the time.
I was in 7th grade, and a chilly day that day in Florida, I remember.
I actually had the day off, and yeah, the temperature was only in the mid-30s at launch. It caused those O-rings to become brittle, and one of those, I guess, just kind of broke apart on the side.
Such a tragedy.
That was it, yeah.
We've been dealing with kind of the same old weather pattern here. We're going to be stuck there for a while.
Lots of clouds, temperatures slightly above normal. 3 things you need to know in the forecast. Not very much change. It'll stay cloudy through Saturday, but there is a chance for a few flurries tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening, and then again Friday afternoon into Saturday morning. There might also be a chance Thursday night. Some of the computer models are showing the possibility for a little very light snow or flurries at that time. But it will be milder this weekend. High temperatures in the mid-30s on Saturday and probably low 40s with some sunshine on Sunday. It'll be the first time that we've seen sunshine in about a week and a half. High temperatures over the next 10 days. Just about normal for tomorrow, 28, 30 on Thursday, a little bit above normal, and then you can see highs in the 40s as we head into the latter part of the weekend and early next week, but a drop-off in temperatures as snow is expected on Tuesday, and then below normal temperatures for the end of next week. In fact, the 8 to 14-day temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center calling for about a 45% chance of below normal temperatures through the 11th of February. Now, as we take a look at Weather Track, very energetic jet stream across the Pacific Ocean. And you can see these storm systems just lined up one right after another. And this dividing line, this branch of clouds here, has been feeding clouds into the Midwest. That's why we've been staying cloudy. But it's the dividing line between colder air to the north and milder weather to the south. Now, across the United States, the jet stream kind of branches into 2 branches. The southern branch of the jet stream, the subtropical jet stream, bringing a lot of the moisture to the south. The polar jet stream up to the north, keeping most of the cold air at bay in Canada. If the 2 come together, we get a more energetic storm path, and that may happen in the early part of next week. But in the short term, you can see things actually pretty quiet around here, just a lot of low clouds. When we see precipitation, it's very light. These snow showers will probably fall apart before they reach us. In fact, as you can see on Future Track, maybe a couple of flurries tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night off of Lake Michigan. Cloudy skies through Thursday. The very latest computer model forecast indicating the possibility for maybe a few flurries of snow Thursday night now, and then another chance from Friday afternoon into Saturday morning. But then after that, we'll see a warm up for Sunday. Beyond that, we look to next week, and this is future track beginning at midnight early on Tuesday morning. Notice the rain-snow line shifting south of Madison. That could bring accumulating snow from Tuesday into Tuesday night and early Wednesday. Computer model forecasts are indicating the potential for about a 3 to 6 inch snowfall at that time. For tomorrow, though, just mostly cloudy skies, maybe a few flurries in the afternoon, high of 28. Future track, lots of clouds, low of 20 for tonight. Highs tomorrow, upper 20s. Tomorrow night, we're back down to around 22, and then high temperatures topping out to around 30 degrees on Thursday. And as we take a look at that 7 to 10 day forecast, you can see those temperatures staying above normal. 42 for high on Sunday, 41 on Monday with some rain showers in the afternoon, but that changes to snow Monday night into Tuesday. That's when we look for the possibility for some snow accumulations, and that could lead to colder weather for the second part of next week.
It'd be nice to just see the sun again, though, maybe by Sunday, just to feel what that's like
But
again.
that means Jimmy the Groundhog will see a shadow, and we'll have 6 more weeks of winter.
I know you put a lot of credibility into his forecast.
Got to remember that.
That's right. All right, Gary, thank you. Well, even without Giannis, the Bucks putting up some crazy record offensive numbers tonight against the Wizards. We'll have the highlights from Fiserv next in sports.
Well, no Giannis today, but no worries. The rest of the team, they've got this. In the 3 games they've played without the Greek Freak so far this season, the Bucks have won by double digits. And with the Wizards in town, chances for that tonight were pretty good. Washington is the worst defensive team in the NBA, and P.S. The Bucks have only lost 2 games at Fiserv this season. But first, the Bucks remembering Kobe Bryant tonight, like all the NBA games have so far, with a 24-second violation, and several players with R.I.P. Kobe or the number 24 on their Kobe's. The Bucks coming out on fire. Madison Zone's Wesley Matthews knocking down a big 3 from the corner. They open up the game on a 13-1 run. Second quarter now, Eric Bledsoe having quite a game. Stops the pull-up jumper. Bucks up by 20 points already. Bledsoe with 34 points. Bucks had 88 in the first half, the most of any team in half this season. But the night belonged to Chris Middleton, knocking down one of his 7 threes on the night. He scored 51 points. That's a new career high. And the Bucks win big 151-131. They improved to 41-6 and host the Nuggets on Friday. Badgers head coach Greg Gard, he's always preached trust the process. So while these last 2 losses may seem a little more devastating, a blowout at Purdue and a 12-point lead that slipped away in the fourth quarter at Iowa, he's staying on track and keeping the Badgers on track despite some other circumstances. The team will have to figure out what's going on with Kobe King, who did not travel with the team to Iowa yesterday. And Wisconsin's got to make some quick progress by Saturday when Michigan State comes to the Kohl Center. But for now, Coach Gard is reassured by the effort he saw compared to that in West Lafayette.
We had a totally different vibe to us than what we did the other night at Purdue. So that we can continue to build on, and now we got to continue to get better at some of those other things, the glass, the being more aggressive in transition, and when teams extend, take advantage of things.
So the NFL must go on, even though the Packers didn't. The Super Bowl is this Sunday in Miami, where the 49ers and Chiefs will battle it out on the field. But first, the players taking on the media this week, being bombarded with hundreds of questions, lots of them about the game and their prep so far, but also some fun stuff. And when that happens, we find out things about the players that we didn't know before. For example, how 28-year-old Jimmy Garoppolo might be the worst millennial ever. But that's probably why he's good at his job.
He is the worst texter of all time. I'm telling you, he leaves me on red all the time. I'll be like, hey, Jimmy, I got a question. Maybe on this play, should I run my route like this? No response. Jimmy, you want to go to a movie? No response. And then the next day, he's like, yeah, I got your text. I just hit respond. Thanks, Jim. That's awesome.
3, 2, 1, go!
And finally tonight, this is a scene at the Staples Center today near the memorial for Kobe and Gianna Bryant. Someone put a trash can on the ground so that kids could throw paper into it and yell, Kobe. This is something that kids would do at school or at home if, like, you were throwing socks into a laundry hamper, imitating Kobe Bryant shooting jumpers. We'll be right back.
Gary's back. One final check of your forecast.
Skies are cloudy. Nothing's really changing out there, and you can see the effect that it has on temperatures. We're only going to drop a few more degrees from where we are now to around 20 degrees by tomorrow morning, and then just start a slow climb back up into the upper 20s, maybe a few flurries tomorrow afternoon. Look for a high of 30 on Thursday and 32 on Friday. Saturday, 35 as flurries end, and then 42 with some sunshine on Sunday. Monday, some rain in the afternoon. That'll change to snow late Monday night, and maybe accumulating snow on Tuesday before we turn colder for the end of next week.
Gary, thanks. And thanks for joining us tonight for News 3 Now at 10. Have a great evening.